Here on The Colour of Country Life, always good to catch up with the member for Flinders, also the Shadow Minister for Regional Population Growth, Sam Telfer. How are you, Sam?
Very well, always a pleasure.
And good to have your colleagues visiting you over on the Eyre Peninsula too.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's exciting to host the Shadow Cabinet, the Joint Party Room, the whole Liberal Party, and importantly, the Leader of the Opposition, David Speirs. And we had a busy day yesterday. We travelled into Whyalla and caught up with community members and council and business there, making sure that we knew what was happening on the ground, and then worked our way down the eastern Eyre Peninsula and had a really constructive and informative community forum, which gave people the opportunity from around the community to come and meet with the leader and the party room, and we could hear directly about the challenges that are being faced on the Eyre Peninsula, and it was good for me as the local member to be able to have those colleagues of mine hear what I've been telling them in the corridors and in our meetings.
We'll focus on regionalisation in a minute, but is this the first gathering of the remaining MPs after the state election since the March election?
Oh no, we've had a couple of sessions where we've been strategising and making sure that we're all on the same page with what direction we need to be going. But this next couple of days that we're spending in Port Lincoln really is key for us as a party to make sure that we're concentrating on the things that we need to be. Well, we're listening to those people that are going to be the ones that help us form policy to put forward. In the end, as opposition, we really need to be keeping the government to account, and we've got to have robust policies and directions that are based on good learnings and good knowledge that we can gather from community meetings and the like.
So I can imagine there's some policy reconsiderations or new policy initiatives you'd be looking to launch as a party to win people back after just a single term in office. Are there any sort of inklings you can give us about which direction the party might, in a general sense, be heading?
Yeah, you're right. There is a chance to re-look at some of the areas where we've had existing policy and look at where there can be new policy developed. But I think that the leader, David Speirs, has been really forthright in the fact that we need to make sure that we're being strategic with our policy development. And the three key areas where he really highlighted that we need to be really turning our mind to is health as a really important aspect, is finances and economic opportunity, and regions as the third topic. And for me, that's the one that have been tasked with having a great responsibility on. As you said, the regional population growth, regional planning are two portfolio areas of mine which I'm really passionate about, and are keen to make sure that the community have their opportunity to be engaged with me as I develop these things. And that really is around those basic essentials, as we've talked about previously before. So about housing, about childcare, about making sure that our rural health system that is in place is actually reflective of what our community's needs are. So it is exciting to be proactively looking at policy which is going to be beneficial for regional communities.
Well, when you look at regions as one of those three priorities for the opposition, if you look at the political map, there's areas that aren't blue. You got Jeff Brock in Stewart and Fraser Ellis in Narunga, and down at Mount Gambier you got Troy Bell there as well. You had a bit of a scare yourself in Flinders, in a sense, from an independent. Is that one reason the Liberal Party is looking to focus specifically on regions, is because there's quite a few regional seats not held by the party?
Oh, no, I don't think so, Ricky. I think really it is a reflection that the Liberal Party has always been the one which has had a mind to the regions and the economic activity and drive that is actually provided to our state and to our country by our regions. And I'm one, if anyone ever has time to spare and is watching me in Parliament, I'm always one to be putting forward just how many billions of dollars are pumped into our state's economy by our regional areas. So making sure that we actually put policy forward that is reflective of the need and reflective of the opportunity in regions. It's not about party political things, because we think we proved in government that we don't need to look at whether it's a red or a blue or an independent seat. We, as a government, invested in our regions across the whole state, and that is something which we need to be continuing to do, because, as I said, there's so much potential and upside that we have if we get those policy settings right.
Now, on this first day of spring, are there any specific initiatives you're announcing in relation to regionalisation in this week while your colleagues are over on the Eyre Peninsula?
No, it's really about strategising and making sure that we get the foundations right for it. So, as we've had conversations before, Ricky, I'm keen to make sure that policies aren't made on the run, and we do have time in opposition to make sure that we get these things right, and then put pressure on the government to actually come out with positive strategies and policies of their own, because in the end, we're not in government at the moment, and as an opposition, we need to hold the government to account. And they've made a lot of promises in the election campaign, and a lot of them, there's no clear pathway to being delivered. We need to make sure that those promises that were made, there's an understanding within the community of what the outcomes are going to be from it.
Well, Sam Telfer, the member for Flinders, good to catch up with you today, and look forward to seeing what the Liberal Party comes out with after this latest regional visit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited too about what this potential can be.